Well, it was a very exciting time at MIT, and in fact, Claude Shannon was coming to be a faculty member, and there were the beginnings of the early courses in information theory. Found that fascinating, completed my thesis in reliable networks, which kind of tied back a bit into some of the work that Shannon had previously done. At the time, a lot of the interest was in sending bits over the telephone lines. We started Linkabit as essentially a day-a-week consulting for each of us. It began to grow. We began to get some small projects, usually government projects. The Army needed in one of their satellite terminals to have some decoding equipment. We proposed and competed with a number of other companies to provide a Viterbi decoder. And so that was our first step into manufacturing, was manufacturing Viterbi decoders. The ARPANET was then just beginning to operate around connecting largely universities in the US, a few other research establishments. Bob came and said one day, let's run an experiment where we connect all of this together with this new internet protocol we've developed. And so we did that. I think it was 1977. It worked, but nobody really thought too much about it at that time. In 1980, we sold Linkabit to MACOM. And so on July 1st of '85, we got everybody together and decided to start the company. And then the question of a name came up. We talked about quality communications. Let's go ahead with Qualcomm. The industry had looked and seen now that the cellular business was really growing. It was a serious business. But staying with analog, with first generation FM radios, was not the right solution. How do we go digital? Companies around the world had looked at CDMA, played with it a while, and they had all thrown it away. But then people began to think that maybe voice isn't enough. We need to have data over wireless and have internet access. Suddenly realized that perhaps CDMA was the best approach. We became very focused on, first of all, on the communication capability, on how do we get high data rates through through wireless. And secondly, if you could do that, what about the devices? What might we do with the devices? So we started focusing on that while other people are still trying to worry about the communication side only. And that's given us a lead that we've tried to keep ever since. We're really still just scratching the surface of what I think we're going to be able to do with wireless and smart devices. As I walk down the street or sit in a luncheon or have a meeting and see the number of times people are glancing down at their devices and texting or getting information, answering a question by Googling it, whatever, doing that wirelessly just gives a great satisfaction to see that happening.